You may think that you're just being kind, but really you are abandoning yourself. People pleasing is not generosity. It is self-betrayal in disguise. It is self-betrayal dressed up to look polite. And it's keeping you tired, it's keeping you fake, it's keeping you unknown, and it's keeping you away from who you really are. It's keeping you lost. It's keeping you in a zone where you don't want to be. And by everyone, including yourself, you don't know who you are. People pleasing is doing nothing but harming you. We do it because we think we need attention. We do it because we think we're gonna feel loved and we don't wanna be rejected. But every time we say yes to something that we don't wanna do and we know that we really don't wanna do it, but we're still saying yes to it because we think that we can't say no. Every time we do that, we are depreciating ourselves. We are pushing ourselves down. Our self-image lowers and we start seeing ourselves less than. And then all of a sudden we do stuff for everyone else and then we go, I don't know who I am because I've been trying to people please everyone. And so in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can stop people pleasing once and for all, because nice guys finish last. The ones who go, yes, 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 man, it's not as good as that movie that came out. I'm gonna show you how you can feel strong when you say no and actually assert your boundaries and understand that people pleasing is not something that you need to keep doing any longer. Hey, it's Brendan. Welcome to the video. People pleasing. This is a common theme. Now understand too, right? People pleasing stems from something that happens in our childhood. 9 times out of 10. I'd probably even say a little bit more than that. Probably 9.999 times out of 10. It's not a personality trait. Understand this. It's not a personality trait. It's a trauma response. And when I say trauma, I don't mean like a big trauma. I'm just talking like a micro little trauma. You know, I don't really like using that word because it has a lot of negative connotations next to it, attached to it. But it's just a small little micro trauma stuck in your nervous system, your unconscious mind, just a program that's playing out. You know, at some point in your time, you learn that if you please people, you fit in. If you please people, you get love and attention. Fear of rejection is one of the deep-seated things when it comes to people pleasing. You know, it's rooted in that. It's rooted in that fear of rejection. People don't want to be rejected. You know, think about at a primal level, at our primal roots. We don't want to be rejected from a herd because if we're rejected from a herd, it equals death. You know, you think about in the wild that if there's a pack of animals, let's say in the African jungle, and then one of them, the babies, gets lost or rejected or their family doesn't like them, it's going to be off on its own, and here comes a big lion and it's going to eat them up. It equals death. Hey, it's Brendan. Quick interruption to your regularly scheduled video. I want to let you know of an opportunity that you have to go even deeper into this work together. Now, if you have not yet, please check out the description down below. And in there, we've got links to both Launch, our 3-day event, and also Ascend, our high performance mastermind. Now, Launch, it's our 3-day event and it's the most ruthlessly effective event to change your brain, for you to become more aware of the subconscious programs and beliefs that have been holding you back, and to teach you the tools, the techniques, and the processes to dramatically transform those programs and those beliefs and literally rewire your brain. Again, Launch, it's our 3-day event and we run them 5 times a year. We also have Ascend, which is our 12-month high-performing mastermind for men who are committed to their growth and who want to totally recreate themselves. I literally want to send you a new birth certificate in 12 months' time because you've grown that much. So if you're a man and you want to go fast, you want to go big, and you understand that you don't want to put off living life at your potential, and you don't want to hold on to any unnecessary stress, anxiety, fear, worry, doubt, or suffering, and you want to be liberated from those habits of thinking and live life to the fullest. So check out the links in the description, take a look at the program information and the amazing success stories from the men just like you who have gone through some of their programs, and I'll see you on the other side. And now, let's get back to the video. So at our primal root level, this fear of being rejected is a life or death situation. That's what's in our nervous system, that's what's in our unconscious mind. We need to unplug this. We need to allow ourselves to go, you know what, I'm safe. It doesn't really matter, I'm safe, right? And so we don't want to be dismissed and we don't want to be disapproved as well. People pleasing is a way that people think that they're gonna get love through complying, right? Just being like, right, I'm not stepping out of line, I'm fitting in. That's how I'm gonna get loved. And that's just a program, right? As I said, it's not truth. It's not the truth. You know, it comes in that saying of, if I keep everyone else happy, I'll be safe. This is at the deeper level, right? And so this is what's going on in our psyche, in the unconscious mind. It might come to our family. If I keep everyone else in my family happy, that means that I will be safe. If I make sure that all my family if I provide for them, they've got food, they've got shelter, you know, they can do what they want, I'll just keep working, that means I'll be safe. And then this is why when something happens and the relationship may fall apart, it comes at such a shock for men, because all of a sudden it's triggered that thing where it's like, I am unsafe now, and that means that it's fight or flight. And then it also means that it's like, this is unsafe, this is not good for my life, not good for my survival. That's what's happening in the psyche, and that's why it affects people so much, right? People pleasing is approval addiction. If you're people pleasing, you are addicted to approval. Let that land for a second, right? Everything's an addiction, right? If we can't control an emotion, we're addicted to the emotion. If we can't control a substance, we're addicted to that substance, as most people know, right? Personally, I struggle. If I don't go to the gym every single day, I feel like, oh, I'm off. I need to work out. You could say that I'm addicted to the gym. You can be addicted to anything. You just get to choose when you have a higher level of awareness. And so people pleasing is about avoiding disapproval. You know, it's avoiding being rejected. It's avoiding all of those things that we don't want. You know, we always seek pleasure to avoid pain. You know, that's the two biggest motivating forces for humans. Avoiding pain, seeking pleasure. We think of pain, rejection, disapproval, not being accepted, but then we've got pleasure of fitting in, seeking, being approved, being respected, being loved, everything that comes along with that. But it's not, right? It's not generosity. People think that if they're pleasing someone else, they're being generous. It's not how it is, right? So there's a hidden cost to people pleasing. There's a number of hidden costs that you may not know, and you probably will resonate with some of these as we go through. So it leads to resentment, burnout, and identity loss. It leads to us losing ourselves because we're doing everything for everyone else, and we're going like, well, this person wants to go here, you do this, and I'll just, you know, I'm happy with doing whatever you want. How many times have you said that maybe to, you know, a partner or to some mates, being like, oh, I'm happy with that, let's just go wherever you want. And then you go, but I'm happy to just go wherever you want. Yes, that might be true, but also you're going to lose yourself because you're constantly doing things for everyone else. So you will then resent them because you'll be like, oh, they never listen to me, they never do what I want, they always just do that, because you've literally trained them to do that. So it leads to you losing yourself, right? Being like, I don't know who I am. You lose your identity. Take away your name and you won't know who you are, right? This is chronic people pleasing, and it comes at every level. Like there's multiple layers of people pleasing. It leads to conformity and fitting in. You know, I say that we kind of trained as kids to fit in. You know, don't step out of line. You've got to stay in 2 lines at class. Don't step out of line because that's bad. You'll get in trouble. You're coloring in between the lines. Don't go outside the line. You've got to write inside the lines. Don't go outside the line. That's bad. So then unconsciously we link getting outside and not fitting in as bad, as wrong. It equals pain. We're going to get in trouble. So then if we are ever out of line, we do whatever we can to get back in line again. And if that might be in a relationship, we may be out of line in a relationship, and so we're like, I need to do something to get back in line. What can I do to please that person to get back in line with them? Because I will need to conform and fit in, because that means that I will be safe and I won't be rejected and I won't be disapproved. It's interesting how it works and how it all plays out. So the more that we understand that we don't have to fit in, we don't have to conform, then already these behaviors, these people-pleasing behaviors are going to just kind of dissolve. It comes from a core wound. that love equals sacrifice. You know, if I say no, I'm bad. A lot of people have trouble saying no. I don't know if you've ever gone and said no to someone and you feel empowered, like you feel powerful, you feel strong. Sometimes saying no is even more powerful than saying yes. You know, there's a lot of times when people say, oh no, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, not going to do this, where sometimes maybe saying yes is going to be a better thing. But also there's another of times when you say no to doing something that you feel good, right? Now, it comes from a core wound, another core wound where it's like, if I don't keep everyone else happy, I'll be rejected. This is the rejection wound, right? So it's like, if I don't make sure that everyone else is doing their bit, they're all good, they're paid for, all the kids, you know, they got lunches, they got food on the table, they're fed, the partner has food and fuel, everything. If I don't make sure that everyone else is happy, I'll be rejected. So I've got to make sure that everyone else is happy before me, because I don't want to be rejected. People would rather not be rejected than be happy. And this is where these behaviors start playing out. So every time that you say yes, when you mean no, you're saying no to yourself. So every time you say yes, I'm going to do this, when you know that you don't want to, or that you know that you're just doing that because you felt like you had to say yes, but you really didn't want to, you are actually saying no to you. And you're actually saying no to your future self. And that means that you're also saying no to your worth. You're saying, well, that person's more worthy than me. That person's more worthy of my time than me having my own time. And what happens with worth? Our value decreases, our self-image decreases, we depreciate ourselves, we devalue ourselves, and then if like and like attracts, what do we attract into our life? People who keep reinforcing that cycle that we're not good enough, or that we devalue ourselves, that we are unworthy, and so we're going to bring and attract people into our life who fuel that back to us. They reflect that back to us. They're going to be like, no, you're not worthy. You know, you're going to attract people who maybe don't see your worth, or maybe think that they're more valuable than you are, and you're going to feel less than, little, small, and then you're going to feel like you need to fit in, and you're going to start pleasing them, and that's just going to make you feel less than even more, and it's just a perpetuating cycle. And now if you imagine, if you do that year after year after year after year, you're going to be in a pretty low spot. And that's what happens for a lot of men. And so the key is to shift to integrity, right? We've got to shift to integrity, because you people pleasing is not your true self. It's not you being the true, authentic, integral self that you are, right? So boundaries aren't walls. They're training guides. What do I mean by this? If you don't set boundaries, then that's the standard that you're setting for, and you're teaching others to treat you. You teach others how to treat you. Plain and simple, right? So how you allow others to treat you is you. And this is the thing. So many people, they then resent the other person. If we take a step back, it's like we show up, and how we let someone treat us is how we've trained them to treat us. You know, in a relationship, you may know that that person's doing this and you don't say anything and you just kind of let it play out. But essentially, you've just trained and programmed this person that that's how you treat them. And that's how they treat you. And then you just keep going like this, and then you start resenting them for doing the things that you taught them how to do it. It's like, imagine that you were teaching your son that he had to write with his left hand. Then so he's writing with his left hand, and you've taught him for years. Then all of a sudden, you start resenting him for being a left-handed writer. Like, it sounds ridiculous, but that's what we're doing to people, especially in relationships. We teach them how to treat us, and then we resent them for doing the things that we've taught them to do. Yeah, and until you see this, you don't understand it. But when you see it, when you understand it, there's no going back. When you've been awakened to this truth of what the truth actually is, there is no going back. So the more that you train people to treat you the way that you don't want to be treated, they're going to keep treating you that way because you've trained them. And so if you don't have boundaries, you're pretty much training people that you don't have boundaries. The standard that you allow and the standard that you walk past is the standard that you set for yourself. Hey, it's Brendan. Quick interruption to your regularly scheduled video. I want to let you know of an opportunity that you have to go even deeper into this work together. Now, if you have not yet, please check out the description down below. And in there, we've got links to both Launch, our 3-day event, and also Ascend, our high performance mastermind. Now, Launch, it's our 3-day event, and it's the most ruthlessly effective event to change your brain, for you to become more aware of the subconscious programs and beliefs that have been holding you back, and to teach you the tools, the techniques, and the processes to dramatically transform those programs and those beliefs and literally rewire your brain. Again, Launch, it's our 3-day event, and we run them 5 times a year. We also have Ascend, which is our 12-month high-performing mastermind for men who are committed to their growth and who want to totally recreate themselves. I literally want to send you a new birth certificate in 12 months' time because you've grown that much. So if you're a man and you want to go fast, you want to go big, and you understand that you don't want to put off living life at your potential, and you don't want to hold on to any unnecessary stress, anxiety, fear, worry, doubt, or suffering, and you want to be liberated from those habits of thinking and live life to the fullest. So check out the links in the description, take a look at the program information and the amazing success stories from the men just like you who have gone through some of their programs, and I'll see you on the other side. And now, let's get back to the video. So if you allow someone to talk to you like that, allow someone to treat you like that, that is the standard that you're setting them to treat you. And until you create your boundaries, until you go, that's not okay, this is not how it's gonna work anymore, but not from a place of being a dick. It's not from a place of being like, you don't treat me like this anymore, this is what's happening. No, it's about being whole. It's about becoming whole. It's about having that boundary, and also understand that you've probably taught someone for years on how to treat you. All of a sudden, if you put a big boundary up like this, a big wall, you're gonna get resistance. It's just the way it is. So it's gonna just take a little bit to bring that back, those behaviors. You've got to kind of retrain them, not just by putting a big wall there. You've just got to retrain them. And how do you do that? You just start saying, like, this isn't how it's gonna work anymore. I know that I've probably let that fly before, but I don't appreciate you talking to me like that, And that's the things, the tough conversations that you might have to have. Be mindful, don't come from a place of arrogance, and don't be a dick about it. Just be true, honest. The truth hurts. I always say that the truth will piss you off because you know it's true, but you don't want to hear it, and it pisses you off to start with. But then you realize you're like, it's true. And then you reach a deeper level. But you've got to get through that little bit. Your ego gets a little bit hit to start with, right? So we've got to replace the nice guy with the honest man. And when I say an honest man, I mean honest and integral to himself, not to anyone else, right? Now, you don't need to give yourself permission to be yourself. A lot of people think that they need permission to do some things or to be themselves. No, you need courage. It takes courage to be who you are. It takes courage to be in a crowd of people and be like, you know what, I don't want to do this. This isn't aligned with me. I'm going to do something else. But most people, they're trying to fit in. So the day that you stop abandoning yourself is the day people start respecting you. A lot of people think it's the opposite. A lot of people think that if they start abandoning other people, people are going to disrespect them. But it's not. The day that you stop abandoning yourself is the day that people start respecting you. At first, you may get some pushback. But at the end of the day, that's better than you becoming sick. Because if you keep holding on to these things, if you keep not allowing yourself to be your true self, you're going to become someone that you're not. You're going to live in these deep emotions of shame and guilt and fear and worry and stress, and that stuff will make you sick. And so I wanted to just leave you with a few prompting questions, some self-inquiry questions. We do a lot of self-inquiry here inside of a lot of our programs. The reason is, when you ask yourself quality questions and when you allow yourself to get to a level of truth while you're asking those quality questions, that's when things will change in your life. The quality of questions will determine the quality of your life, But I also like to think that it's actually the level of truth you allow yourself to get to while asking quality questions, right? Because you can ask yourself a quality question and just give a surface level answer, and it was a waste of time. So self-inquiry questions allow yourself to get to a level of truth and just go, you know what, let's just park that for the side, because a lot of people's first response is, no, that doesn't happen, or this doesn't happen, or I'm not interested in that, or whatever. But if they're true, honest with themselves, it's there. So I want you to just think about, and you may want to pause this video. I'm not going to give you lots of time. I'm just going to just go through the questions. And if you are following along, either do this again later or pause the video and do it now. There's only a few questions, 3 questions. It won't take long, but it's going to just maybe help you uncover a few things. Remember, awareness is key. You can't change what you don't know. So awareness is key. So the first question, where in your life are you saying yes when you mean no? What's happening in your life where you're saying yes when you mean no? Where are you fitting in? Where are you shrinking yourself? Where are you betraying yourself? Could be in the workplace, could be in a relationship, could be, not starting a business. It could be staying to society, conforming and fitting into society, saying no to, chasing freedom and saying yes to just being average. So where in your life are you saying yes when you mean no? The next question, who do you shrink around or perform for? So what I mean by this is, who do you shrink yourself and fit in around, or who do you feel like you need to perform and you need to please that other person? Because either way, whether you feel like you need to go more and really put out and perform and do better, that's a form of people pleasing just as much as fitting in and shrinking yourself and trying to conform. That's just as much as a people pleasing behavior. So where are you shrinking or trying to outperform or overperform in your life that ultimately leads to some kind of people pleasing behavior? So when you ask that question, you may find some things and some answers of like, oh wow, I can see this, I can see this. The last question, once you've got those, what are you afraid will happen if you start honoring yourself? So what are you afraid, or what are you fearful of happening if you say yes to what you want to do rather than saying yes to what they want to do? Like if you were to push back, if you were to not shrink yourself, if you were to not feel like you needed to overperform, if you just stayed true to who you are, what are you fearful, scared, or afraid that would happen? Once you find those questions, you're going to have a different awareness of some of the patterns and the behaviors that you have. So nice guys finish last, not because they're bad, but because they're constantly not real. Let me say that again, so that lands. Nice guys finish last, not because they're bad, but because they're not real, because they're not true to themselves. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't born to just be average. You were born to lead. You were born to make something of yourself and become the person that you never thought possible. I always say, imagine you get to the end of your life and there you are, and you meet the man that you could have been. You've got either two things. You're gonna look at that man and you're gonna smile because it's gonna be you. Or you're gonna look at that man and feel so disgusted because you didn't live anywhere near your potential. And so you've got to start being true to yourself, doing things for you, because the more that you do for yourself, the more you will do for others. The more you work on yourself, the more others around you will change and benefit. It's not selfish. If you can't lead, you're scared to disappoint. So you're just gonna follow and you're gonna fit in and you're gonna be a very good follower, but you're not gonna be a very good leader. So you've got to choose what path you want. I don't care which one you take, it's up to you. But I recommend choosing truth, choosing power, choosing your own power, and choose your own integrity. Because the more that you stay true to yourself, speak your truth, say what you want to say, do what you want to do, you'll end up continuing doing things for everyone else and you will lose yourself. And you'll get to the end of your life and you won't know who you are and you would have wasted it. We only get one chance at this. There's only one shot. There's only one opportunity. So everything in your life that you thought you had to chase, respect, peace, love, joy, approval, it starts chasing you when you start being true to yourself, when you choose truth, when you choose power and you choose integrity and you choose your best self. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your biggest takeaway. Do me a favor, share this with someone that you feel like would benefit from. Let me know those answers to your questions too. What came up, any insights, any realizations, any cognitions. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. You made it to the end of the video. You are the true top 1%. Now, don't forget to like and comment below what you got your biggest takeaway was. I love hearing that. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like, the biggest insight, realization. I read them all and I like seeing what you got from this. Now, if you'd also like to grab my copy of my free ebook, 4 Rules Any Man Can Follow to Radically Transform His Life, click on the link down below in the description in this video. And if you love this video, you can check out some of the other videos on here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.